Welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Jessica Biaidinan, a third-year college student of Baguio Central University, taking up Business Administration major in Human Resource Management Development. For today's topic, we will be discussing managerial economics and demand analysis. And with that, we will be having a guest speaker to give insights about our topic we are to discuss. So also with the help of my sister.
Thank you for having me here. Hello everyone, my name is Julicia B. Aidinan and I will be your partner for today.
Yes, that's right. So guys, let's get started. So partner, for today's topic, we will first discuss managerial economics. And managerial economics is according to father of managerial economics, which is
Adam Smith?
Yes, Adam Smith. He defined it as a stream of management studies that emphasize primarily solving business problems and decision making by applying the theories and principles of microeconomics and macroeconomics.
And from that partner, the one who defined managerial economics is according to Brigham and Papar. Managerial economics is the application of economic theory and methodology to business administration practice.
Yes, partner. So from Adam Smith and Brigham and Papar, their definition is, in short, managerial economics is about decision making and solving problems in the organization by the principles of microeconomics and macroeconomics, such as supply and demand. So when we say microeconomics, it focuses in the parts of economy such as individuals, firms, and industries, while in macroeconomics focuses in the economy as whole, which involves growth in the standard living, unemployment, and inflation.
From that, we can see that there is always a relationship of management and economics.
Yes, you're correct, partner. That's why let's see now the importance of managerial economics in these aspects.
There are 5 aspects to see its importance. Number 1, business planning and forecasting.
So it plays an efficient role in formulating business policies by forecasting future demands and uncertainties.
Number 2, analyze cost and production level.
So it is to determine the cost associated with different business processes and finds out the cost minimizing level of output.
Number 3, formulate pricing policies.
It analyzes the market pricing structures and strategies for deciding the firm prices.
Number 4, manages profit.
It monitors and controls the profitability of the business organization.
And lastly, number 5, capital management.
It manages and analyzes all capital expenditures of business which involves huge expenditures.
We have seen that the managerial economics is very important in the business, especially in making decisions, because what we have decided and done will always reflect in the outcome.
Yes, you're correct. It is about understanding the past, solving the present, and being ready for the future. Now that we know its importance, let's see now the main concepts of managerial economics.
And there are 6 concepts of managerial economics. Number 1 is the incredible concept.
So in here, there are 2 major concepts. First is incremental cost. It denotes change in total costs. And 2, incremental revenue, change in total revenue resulting from a decision of the company. Actually, this is more on making sure that the cost or the expenses is lower than the profit or the revenue.
Number 2, concept of time perspective.
In here, it states that the decision maker must give due consideration both to the short run and long run effects of his decisions. In the short run, the firm can change its output without changing its size.
An example of short run is When you want to have more finished products, then for you to do that, you have to employ more workers to produce products, but there is no increase in your profits.
So that's the short run. So let's see the long run. Long run is the firm can change its output by changing its size.
An example of long run is when you want to produce more products, that's why you have decided to expand and build bigger factories which result to bigger supplies on the demand and high profits. Number 3, opportunity cost concept.
In here, it is useful in decision involving a choice between different alternative courses of action. It is about decision of sacrificing a resource when there is no use to productivity and making an alternative.
Okay, for example, you have earned 1,000 pesos from your past transaction, then for you to make it profitable, you decided to put it in an investment rather than putting it in your piggy bank. Number 4, equi-marginal concept. It states here that an input should be allocated so that value added by the last unit is the same as all cases.
So an example of this is when you have two stores and the first store offers cakes and does not have many customers, while the second store offers breads that have many customers. And you have 10 employees, you will you will divide the employees based on the needs of your stores. That's why you will employ 7 employees in your bread store while 3 employees in your cake stores.
Number 5, discounting concept.
This is simply about worth of an item today and for the future. An example of this is when you have 1,000 pesos today, it worth a lot and you can buy so much from it. But then we don't know that in the future the worth of 1,000 pesos can be less worth and you won't be able to buy something from it.
So lastly, number 6, risk and uncertainty.
So managerial decisions are actions of today which bear fruits in the future, which is unforeseen. In here, it is important that now and then the decisions you make as a manager would be keep on updating because what you decided today will only be used for today and you cannot use it for the future. These concepts we have discussed, we can go now to the 3 types of managerial economics.
The 3 types managerial economics are: number 1, liberal managerialism.
A market is a democratic place where people are liberal to make decisions and choices. That's why it is important to know what are the wants and demands of your customers because they are the ones who must be followed for your decisions.
Number 2, normative managerialism.
It states that the management decisions are based on real-life experiences and practices. It is much to be more pragmatic approach wherein, as a manager, you must decide based on only on what is practical and not on the theoretical ones.
Number 3, radical managerialism.
It means that coming up with revolutionary solutions for a problems. For example, they must focus more on the customer's requirements and satisfactions rather than on profit maximization. So for our next topic, it's about demand analysis. So partner, what is demand analysis?
Demand analysis is the research conducted by companies that aim at understanding customer demand for a certain product.
So in here, they would be able to see if they could make profits with the product they have in entering a market. So management decides on cost allocation, production, advertising, and pricing.
There are 8 types of demand analysis. Number 1, individual demand and market demand.
So in individual demand, it's about demand for goods and services by the single consumer. While in market demand is the demand for the product by all the consumers who buy that product.
Number 2, total market demand and market segment demand.
So in total market demand is aggregated demand for a product by all the consumers in the market who purchase a specific kind of product. While in market segment demand is subdivided into the segments of the basis of geographical areas, price sensitivity, customer size, age, or sex. So, so partner, due to the cold climate here in Baguio, what do you think residents buy to keep them warm?
For me, as a resident here at City of Pines, I prefer to buy jackets.
Yes. So, what if you are from lowlands and you came here in Baguio as a tourist? What do you um, prefer to buy?
As a lowland, because of the hot weather in lowland, I prefer to buy sleeveless like sandals and t-shirts.
Yes. So, in here we can see that total market demand is when residents of Baguio prefer to buy jackets, and in market segment demand is when people of lowlands come up here in Baguio City, they prefer to buy sleeveless clothing because the weather of the lowlands is hotter than Baguio City.
Number 3, derived demand and direct demand.
So in derived demand, or which is induced demand, is when the demand for product is associated with the demand for another product. And for direct demand or autonomous demand is when the demand for the product is independent of the demand for another product.
An example of this is the demand for cotton yarn is based from the demand of cotton cloth.
So in here partner, when you order more of cotton cloth, the more they supply cotton yarn. Also, there are connection between cloth and cotton yarn.
Number 4, industry demand and company demand.
So in industry demand, it refers to the total aggregated demand for the products for a particular industry. For company demand is a demand for the product which particular to the company and is part of the industry.
An example of this is the demand for jacket in the clothing industry, while the demand of wool jackets manufactured by the H&M.
So in here, clothing industry is from industry demand, while H&M is a company demand.
Number 5, short-run demand and long-run demand.
So in short-run demand is the changes in price or income are reflected immediately on the quantity of demand, while in long-run demand shows that the demand for commodity exists as a result of adjustments following changes in pricing, promotional strategies, or consumption patterns.
Number 6, price demand.
So in here, this means that the amount of commodity a person is willing to purchase at a given time. Simply means that as the price increases, the demand decreases. As well as the price decreases, the demand increases.
Number 7, income demand.
So in here, income demand is refers to the willingness of an individual to buy a certain quantity at a given income level. Simply means that the income increases, the demand for commodity also increases. And when the income decreases, the demand also decreases.
And lastly, number 8, cross demand.
So cross demand is the demand for a commodity depends not on its own price, but on the price of other related products.
An example of this is when the price of coffee increases, the price of tea also increases because they are substitutes to each other. Knowing the types of demand analysis, let's see now the importance of demand analysis and its aspect. There are 6 aspects to see its importance. Number 1, sale forecasting.
So in here, sales forecasting is the demand is the basis of the sales of the product of the company. That's why it can be made on the basis of demand. It was when the demand is high, the sales is high. And also when the demand is low, the sales is low.
Number 2, pricing decision.
So pricing decisions, if the demand for the product is high, the company can change high price and the other things remaining the same. Demand analysis also helps the firm in profit budgeting.
Number 3, marketing decisions.
So in marketing decisions, demand analysis helps a company to formulate a marketing decisions. The demand can be influenced by manipulating the factors. For example, consumers may base their demand on the attractiveness of the packaging of the products. That's why company can upgrade their packaging styles to have a high profit.
Number 4, production decisions.
So production decisions is about how much a company can produce depends on its capacity. But then could produce depends on the demand. Demand analysis ensures that when the company is to be demanded high in the future, then the company must have a high inventories of the products.
Number 5, financial decisions.
So in financial decisions, the demand in the market for company products affects the financial decisions as well. It was when the demand for a company product is growing, then there is a need for additional finance that is more greater.
Number 6, investment policy.
So in investment policy, demand analysis helps firm adapt appropriate investment policy. For an instance, in the Jollibee Corporation, because of the high demand of products and services from them, as a manager, you prefer to invest to that company.
Knowing the importance of demand analysis, let's go now on how to analyze product demand. There are 5. Number 1, define your market.
So you must know who is your target audience, how much they could spend on your product, or where they get their money to spend on your product. For example, partner, you are selling whitening bar soaps. Um, who do you think will be your target audience, and how much do you think would they spend on your product?
Probably, my customer will be more teenagers or adults because of high trend about the whitening soap. They could probably spend much to satisfy their demands.
Yes, you're right. That's why selling whitening soaps today could probably give you a high profit because of the high demand of the items.
Number 2, assess the maturity of the market and business cycle.
So some products seem to have an endless life cycle, wherein even there are a lot of substitutes, they never get out of the market.
Example, papaya soap. It is one of the oldest whitening soap, but then until now it is being demanded by the customers. Even there are a lot of whitening soap coming out of the market. Number 3, identify your market niche.
It is because the consumers are not only looking for products they can use daily, but also they look for a brand that they know they are connected with.
For example, the Dove whitening soap, wherein through its advertisement, it shows how those customers were connected in using the product. Number 4, calculate market growth potential. Knowing the past and what you are experiencing in the present can be improved in the future.
For an example of this is the papaya soap. In the past, consumers demand on them, but when there are a lot of substitutes soaps today, then they upgraded it into becoming a whitening soap that most of the consumers were looking for, and for that, their market become larger.
And lastly, number 5, evaluate the competition.
So competitions in the market is very aggressive nowadays. That's why it is important that you are always keep on researching and developing your products so that can be more competitive in the market. That was our topic about managerial economics and demand analysis. So we have here our guest speaker, Ma'am Josephine Bigalangi, to give her insights about this topic. So,
Hi, I am Josephine B. Galangi. I am currently working at Good Shepherd Baguio as a section head supervisor of the Ubijam section. As a section head supervisor, I make sure to properly supervise the employees under me. But because they are still college students who are working students, I need to properly teach and assign works to them. With this job, it is also part to make decisions to create better outcomes. This involves of deciding with the resources I need in my department. During the processes on how to satisfy the customer's wants and how to lessen cost over profit. During this pandemic, because of lack of manpower, I need to be flexible enough and not only on supervising but also doing the task as well. And as to relate to your topic, Ubi Jam is one of the highly demanded products in Good Shepherd. That's why it is important as a supervisor to ensure that the demand of the local and international tourists, even the residents of Baguio, was provided. Although it is hard to provide all the demands because of the lack of supply of ubi jam during this pandemic, which is the main ingredient of the ubi jams. So in order to supply their demand of ubi jam, we have decided to maximize the order of one customer having only 2 pieces per order. In here, we can be able to equally provide everyone with ubi jam even if it is first come, first serve policy. This pandemic, Mayor of Baguio, Management of DTI, and Tourism plan to impose a higher price from 230 to 350 to ubi jam because of the high demand and also to have a uniform and peace in the Good Shepherd compound. They have planned to supply directly to the resellers with having a 10%, but then sell it also 350 and not higher than that. This regulatory was signed by Mayor Magalong of Baguio, management and all the ubi resellers from Baguio and Benguet. Also because of the fast and growing demands of ubi jams, I need to make sure that in my department, there is no wastage of resources during these processes. Today in my section, I am having lack of manpower to process the ubi jam, especially in peak seasons. I add employees from other departments who can work to provide more ubi jams. As the time goes by, the facilities of ubi jam department has extended so that there are more ubi jams to be produced by our department because of the different sections like washing section, peeling section, grinding and cooking section, and packing section.
So, thank you, ma'am, for your time for this short sharing of your insights about our topic regarding managerial economics and demand analysis.
Okay, thank you too for having me.
Sige. So, guys, that was it for today's topic about managerial economics and demand analysis. See you again for my next video